Karen swiped a vet's wheelchair, got sued for $120,000 and lost hard in court. What kind of person would steal a veteran's wheelchair just to make a point? In the heart of Willow Creek Park, where families laughed and dogs chased frisbees, a single act of cruelty shattered the peace. Karen Mitchell, a 42-year-old self-proclaimed neighborhood watchdog, stood at the center of it all, her arms crossed and her smirk sharp enough to cut glass. She'd always been the type to complain about kids skateboarding, dogs off leashes, or picnics that were too loud. But this time she'd gone too far. Her target? James Carter, a 67-year-old Vietnam War veteran who relied on his wheelchair to navigate the world. It started on a crisp Saturday morning. James, a regular at the park, was known for his warm smile and stories of his service days, shared with anyone who'd listen. His wheelchair, custom-built and worth thousands, was his lifeline. Karen, however, saw it as an eyesore, cluttering her perfect view of the park's rose garden. She'd been vocal about it for weeks, posting rants on the neighborhood's online forum, calling James's presence a nuisance. No one took her seriously until she acted. That morning, as James chatted with a group of kids about his old army dog tags, Karen stormed over. "This park isn't your personal campground," she snapped, her voice slicing through the air. Before anyone could react, she grabbed the handles of James's wheelchair and yanked it out from under him. He hit the ground hard, his cry of pain drowned out by the gasps of onlookers. Karen didn't stop there. She dragged the wheelchair to a nearby dumpster, tossing it in with a clang that echoed like a gunshot. "Maybe now you'll stay home," she sneered, dusting off her hands as if she'd just taken out the trash. The park froze. Parents clutched their kids. A teenager, Mia, pulled out her phone and started recording, her hands shaking. Karen, oblivious to the growing crowd, strutted away, leaving James sprawled on the grass, his dignity as battered as his body. But this wasn't the end, it was just the spark. Word spread like wildfire. Mia's video hit the internet, racking up thousands of views within hours. The comments were brutal. "Who does this to a veteran? She's a monster." The neighborhood forum exploded, with residents demanding justice. Karen, however, doubled down. She posted a lengthy defense, claiming James was faking his disability to mooch off welfare, and that she was protecting the park's aesthetic. Her words only fanned the flames. By evening, a local news crew was at James's doorstep, and a lawyer named Sarah Nguyen, a fierce advocate for disability rights, took up his case pro bono. Sarah uncovered a twist no one saw coming. Karen wasn't just a grumpy neighbor, she was a repeat offender. Court records showed she'd been sued twice before for harassing elderly residents, once for keying a car she deemed parked too close to her driveway. Sarah also found Karen's social media, littered with rants about entitled disabled people. "This wasn't a one-off," Sarah told James. "She's built a career out of bullying." Armed with Mia's video, witness statements, and Karen's own damning posts, Sarah filed a $120,000 lawsuit for emotional distress, property damage, and punitive damages. Karen laughed it off at first. "They'll never win," she told her small circle of supporters, who nodded along at the local coffee shop. She hired a flashy lawyer, Tom Reynolds, known for defending petty disputes with big egos. Tom's strategy? Paint James as a fraud. He dug into James's medical records, twisting minor inconsistencies to suggest he could probably walk if he wanted to. Karen took to the forum again, posting doctored photos of James standing briefly with a walker, claiming it was proof he was scamming everyone. The courtroom showdown was electric. On one side, James sat quietly, his new temporary wheelchair creaking under him. His eyes, though tired, burned with resolve. On the other, Karen sat with her chin high, whispering to Tom as if they'd already won. The gallery was packed, neighbors, veterans groups, even Mia, who'd become a local hero for her video. Sarah presented the evidence with surgical precision. The video, now viral with over 1 million views, testimonies from parkgoers who saw Karen's cruelty, and a repair estimate for the wheelchair, which was irreparably damaged. The real gut punch, though, was James's testimony. His voice cracked as he described the humiliation of lying helpless on the ground. His war medals pinned to his jacket, now symbols of a different kind of battle. Then came the twist. During cross-examination, Tom tried to grill James about his disability, holding up the doctored photos. But Sarah had a surprise witness. Dr. Emily Chun, James's longtime physician, who'd been quietly sitting in the back. Dr. Chun dismantled Tom's claims, explaining that James's rare spinal condition allowed brief standing with support but required a wheelchair for mobility. The photos? Taken out of context from a physical therapy session. The courtroom murmured. Karen's smirk faltered. The tide turned fast. Sarah called Mia to the stand, who recounted how Karen had threatened her for recording, saying, "Delete that, or you'll regret it." Mia's courage electrified the room. Even Tom's bluster couldn't salvage Karen's case. Her own posts, read aloud by Sarah, painted her as unhinged. Rants about cripples ruining the park drew audible gasps. The judge, a no-nonsense woman named Linda Harper, leaned forward, her eyes narrowing at Karen's feeble excuses. Karen's collapse was spectacular. When the judge ruled in James's favor, awarding the full $120,000 plus legal fees, Karen's face crumpled. She shouted, "This is a witch hunt," only to be silenced by Judge Harper's gavel. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed. Karen tried to spin the narrative, claiming she was defending community standards. But the crowd wasn't having it. A veteran in the back yelled, "You're no hero," and the chant spread. Mia's video played on every local news channel, her handwritten sign Karen's cruelty. Justice awaits, now a rallying cry. Karen's reputation was in tatters. Her coffee shop cronies stopped returning her calls. James didn't gloat. He used part of the settlement to replace his wheelchair and donated the rest to a veterans charity. At a park ceremony weeks later, he was honored with a plaque for his service, both in war and in standing up to injustice. Mia, now a budding activist, spoke at the event, her voice steady. "Sometimes, it just takes one person to say, 'That's enough.'" The crowd roared. Karen, meanwhile, vanished from the neighborhood. Rumors swirled. She moved to avoid the shame, her house listed for sale at a loss. The park felt lighter without her, the rose garden blooming brighter. James was back, sharing his stories, his new wheelchair gleaming in the sun. The community had spoken. Cruelty wouldn't win. What do you think? Where do we draw the line between standing up for what's right and crossing into cruelty? Share your thoughts below.